Oh man, it's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute, y'all. I hope y'all doing good. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Excuse me. It has been a crazy past. It's loud ass playing. But it has been a crazy past, I think, almost 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Clearly, I have lost track of time because y'all know what I've been doing? Sleeping. I've been sleeping. So I got sick the first week of August. That really put me out. And I felt like the reason why I got sick is because I was forcing myself to do and be so much, knowing that I was tired, knowing that I was literally exhausted. But I continued to push myself, and then I found myself in the situation of my body was like, you can either lay down or I'm gonna make you lay down. And so my body made me lay down. And I was out of commission for about 2 weeks. Honestly, all I did was just sleep. But there was a point to where I would wake up in the morning and I would still be tired. So I'm like, yes, my body's recovering and getting the sleep and catching up on the sleep, but mentally and like spiritually, I still felt very, very tired. And so it made me think, like, I'm so tired of being tired. Like, I want to wake up and feel rejuvenated and ready to attack the day. Like, I don't want to wake up and feel like, ugh, I have to do this, I have to do that. And it was really fucking with my mental health. Like, and then because I had to lay down for so long, I got depressed. That was really the reason why it took me so long to come back and do this. Whenever I get depressed, when I get sad, I don't want to talk at all. I just want to sit in silence and bear the harshness of my thoughts. But I had to break myself out of that, and I was happy that I was able to identify it. But I've been talking to y'all about me kind of being the borderline sadness or depressive episodes, kind of back and forth, because I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to figure out my life. And so that's why I feel like I am so mentally and spiritually tired. So I had to ask myself, instead of me, like, whenever I'm tired, instead of me pushing myself, because that's what I was taught to do, that's what I seen growing up. My dad, this dude, literally a couple months ago, and he used to say this continuously, but this last time I heard him say it, and I looked at him, I was like, Daddy, you look tired. Like, you look really, really sleepy. And he was like, yeah, but I'm just going to tell my body that's not tired. And this man went out, cut the grass, built a retainer wall, like all this stuff. He was like, it's things that need to get done. And I know that's why I have that mentality, because I grew up seeing him do that. My mom is the same way. Like, if it's something that needs to get done, they're up, they're working, they're not stopping until it's complete. So growing up watching that all the time, and then forcing myself to have that same mentality, like, especially with sports. I was a hooper. I mean, I still am, but I'm a little retired right now. But it didn't matter if you was tired. You got another game, my G. Like, I remember playing 3 different teams one tournament. I was playing 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. They didn't care if you just played 2 8th grade teams. You got another game coming up. And at the time, I didn't know how to say no, stand on it without caring about how they felt about it, whether that be parents, coaches, players, whatever. And then I realized how much I did it with my schoolwork, but then with my schoolwork also came procrastination based on anxiety. We're unpacking a lot today. And so I remember I used to wait till the last minute to do, I'll never forget, bruh, this was my sophomore year. I had 2 finals the next day, one for bio, one for chem. And I went out that night. I think it was one of my friend's boyfriend's birthday. And we went out to this nice restaurant. throwing back shots, enjoying ourselves, having a great time. Me knowing that I still have 2 final exams to prepare for, of which I have not started studying at all. I'll unpack my anxiety in academia in another episode. But nonetheless, it didn't matter how tired I was. I didn't stop studying for my chem exam until almost 4:30 in the morning. But then I had my bio exam at 9 a.m. So now I'm starting to study for that exam at 5 o'clock in the morning. I think y'all know how I did on those exams. But nonetheless, I talk about that because my anxiety is what made me procrastinate. And the thought of disappointing my friends, like, oh, I can't go hang out because I have an exam. So it was really the disappointment of others that would put me in the situations of procrastination and being extremely tired, because I wanted to be the people pleaser. I'm still working on my people pleasing mechanisms and behaviors. But the fact that I was so willing to risk my final grades all because I wanted to make sure I was the fun friend, the friend that can make everything happen. I can party all night, go to practice, go to lift, and still ace my exam the next day. I wanted to show that I was capable, which also makes me think about imposter syndrome. But I want to circle back to the tiredness that I was facing. And so when I had the time to think back to all of that, my behaviors in undergrad, watch my parents growing up playing AAU basketball for a good 5 to 7 years. I was so used to my body being tired. Like that was a usual thing for me. I didn't have to really worry about if I wanted to do something because I ain't had no choice. It was going to make it happen. And so now I'm asking myself, how can you identify when you're tired? And not labeling it as me being lazy, because that's what I would do. A lot of negative self-talk, putting myself down. Oh, why aren't you capable of doing this? So-and-so does this, that, and the third, and they're still showing up and they're still doing this. That's none of my fucking business. If they want to do that and that works for them, lovely. But I have to focus on what helps me and what makes me feel good and what makes me feel the most rejuvenated, and identifying when I'm tired and not forcing myself to do the next thing. Now, if it's absolutely necessary, make it happen. But if it's not, bro, go lay down. That's what I tell myself. I tried to record episodes at least 2 or 3 times. And I come out here, set up, sit down, and stare at the camera. And I'm like, I look tired. I look exhausted. And it might have been me having to visually see myself be exhausted to be like, bitch, go lay down. Go lay down, go meditate. And so that leads me to my next point. What I had to ask myself was what I needed whenever I was tired. And it wasn't like a physical tired, it was a spiritually tired. Meditation really, really, really rejuvenates me. But meditation was difficult for me to get into at first. I've been trying to meditate consistently since I was in high school, but it really wasn't working then. But I took a couple courses at school that really helped me get into my inner self. That has helped me identify when my soul is tired, when my spirit is tired. And I just go and I sit down. I find a nice comfy spot, because another thing that I noticed that was happening is because I wasn't getting things done, I had such a negative mindset and I was putting myself down so much to the point where I was almost giving myself a panic attack. Because now in my mind, everything's crumbling. Everything's going down. Everything's bad. Like, Chicken Little, the sky is on fire. Like, that's what I would put. That's what I would give myself to fuel myself to power through. No. That's what I've come to. No, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to be able to identify behaviors that are toxic to me And one of the biggest ones is forcing myself to do more when I know I need to rest. So being able to sit down and meditate, it would be difficult at first because I'd have all these different thoughts and responsibilities, if you will, running through my head of shit that I needed to get done. And usually I would try to control and place, like, if my mind was a computer, I have so many different tabs and folders open, it is ridiculous. And so when I'm meditating, I basically see those thoughts as clouds, and I just let them just run past my dome. Like, all right, yeah, I know, record next episode, this at work, do this, take care of this, da 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 da. And I would try to allow them to just roam in my head. And for me, it helps if I think about, as I'm sitting down, I think about my hips, and I think about them as if it's an infinity sign, and how it's connected to my spine, and how my spine shoots up my body and comes to the back of my head. And so if we have that visualization in mind, the color that helps me relax the most is like a light blue, like a glowing light blue, if you will. And so I would imagine that glow tracing the outside of the infinity line, coming up through my spine to the top of my head, and then a spout that's coming out, like I'm a water fountain, but like a spout that's coming out the top that's like like not raining over me, because it's like almost like covering over me. And with each breath, I would breathe in and be like, okay, it's tracing this side of the infinity sign. And then I'd breathe out, and I was like, okay, now it's going down and across. Breathe in. And so things like that is what has helped me concentrate on, one, my breathing, because that's the biggest part of meditation, is for you to get connected to yourself and your breath. And then it would give me something to think about, something fun per se. And then before I know it, I have like this glowing light blue whatever around me that is calming me and making me feel safe. So yeah, meditation has been the greatest thing for me. Still working on it, still practicing. Sometimes I sit down and try to meditate, and I'm still over here thinking about this, that, and the third, and I'm not able to calm my mind in the way that I want. But I still thank myself for taking the time to care about me, to put me first, to put my feelings, my thoughts first. Because I have a people pleaser mentality that I'm identifying and reworking. I really try to be intentional with my thoughts. Like whenever I'm about to do something, I'm like, okay, is this for me or the benefit of somebody else seeing me do it? If that makes sense. Like a lot of times, so this might not be a good example, but I'm gonna just say it anyway. So whenever I wanted to go out, I wanted to ask my mom to go somewhere. I'm cleaning the whole house. Dishes done, laundry done, my puppy taken out, crate clean, vacuum, like everything, house spotless. I wasn't doing that for myself. I was doing that to butter my mom up so I can go do what I wanted to do. And I think how I'm trying to correlate this is make sure the actions that you're doing are truly for yourself or for the benefit of yourself. Wash the dishes because you don't want to come downstairs and see all them dishes in the sink. Clean your room because you want to have a nice space to come back to that's clean and uncluttered. Have a clean home so you can see cleanliness, so you can be cleanliness in your mind. Yeah. Let me get some of this water. I don't think I told y'all to drink water in a couple episodes, so please go do that. I hope y'all have been. Go drink some water. Go take care of yourself. But yeah, the whole tired of being tired, and I've been seeing a lot of tweets on Twitter that's talking about like I'm just exhausted, and I know it can be to a lot of things. Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating the right things that is going to fuel your body? Are you staying up aimlessly scrolling on social media? That's the number one way to make you feel exhausted in the morning. Or whenever you first pick up your phone, or whenever you first wake up in the morning, do you pick up your phone? That's going to tire you out too, because then, for one, you are already overstimulating your brain with however many different tweets, however many TikToks, Instagram posts, Snapchat, like all of that. Just think of that. That's how I had to start thinking about social media. Whenever I wake up, my brain is quote unquote empty. And whatever I decide to fill it with that day, I want it to be of substance. And I used to wake up in the morning and it's, oh, let me go check everything. I got to catch up. Let me go look at Twitter and scroll on that for 10 minutes. Go look on Instagram. Go laugh at something on TikTok. Shit, I even pull up a YouTube video while I'm brushing my teeth. Never present. I was never present, and that's why I was exhausted. I'm on autopilot. I'm over here understanding the YouTube video more than I'm paying attention to each tooth I'm brushing in my mouth. So I had to start coming up with routines. So whenever I wake up, at this point, I don't even charge my phone in my room, because I don't have, I'm still learning the discipline of not picking up my phone as soon as I wake up. And it was difficult because it's my alarm. So alarm goes off. I'm like, oh, okay, stop. Then I'm like, damn, it's early as shit. But stop the alarm. Oh, notifications, emails, work emails. Like, I'm already working and it's 5:30 in the morning. I haven't even given myself the time to reintroduce myself back into this world after coming from slumber. And so, like I said, I charge my phone out of the room. My Apple Watch wakes me up. Well, when I get up, I say the 3 things I'm grateful for, because I fell out of that routine. So I wake up, 3 things I'm grateful for, look at myself in the mirror, and I stretch. And I had this class. It was called It was called oh my goodness, not remembering. Intro to movement. Yeah, intro to movement studies. So within that class, we basically learned the fundamental patterns of movement. And basically we would just lay on the floor and move around like a baby, damn near. Like learning push and pull within our body, learning having something deep to yourself versus distal. So just really learning and feeling our body. And so during that class, I was able to see, and thankfully I had it in the morning, so that also helped. But I was able to see the parts of my body that were so tight whenever I wake up. Girl, this back, this lower back, my knees, and I know that's just from me hooping, crazy. My shoulders, man. And because I haven't been working out, I'm still recovering from a surgery I had a couple months ago, so I haven't been able to get in the gym the way that I want to. But I was ignoring the fact that there are still smaller movements that I could achieve. And so that's what I also incorporated into my routine. So as soon as I wake up, I put myself in child's pose, and I wake up my upper body. So I'm moving my arms, I'm rolling my neck, I'm touching my face, like I'm getting into me before I even enter into this world. And then I journal. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I definitely find my phone and I'll go look at some social media, but then I have to check myself like, hey sis, not right now. You'll have your time to look at whatever. I promise you're not missing anything. And if you are, I promise it's not gonna be detrimental to your life. You'll be good. There's multiple times I've had to go silent on social media because I would let it consume me. I'm waking up. I had to unfollow. I was about to name drop. But I had to unfollow a couple pages that were just full of benefiting off the negative of people's lives. And that shit's disgusting. But whenever I do find myself picking up my phone while I'm journaling or meditating or reading in the morning, reading's the last thing I do in the morning, and then I start making my breakfast and getting prepared for my work day. But whenever I do find myself like, ooh, did a notification just come in? Like, let me go pick this up and look at it real quick. I'd be like, okay, no, put it down. You'll have your whatever 5-10 minutes that I've set out that day for me to go and look at my social media. And it has been difficult It's tough, especially getting up earlier. I used to pop up at 5 a.m. like that. Had it on lock. But I started staying up on social media too late and staying out with my friends until 11 o'clock at night, and then waking up like 30 minutes before I had to leave for work. So it was just a very vicious cycle. But once I was able to identify it, I knew that I needed to create routines. And so I have my morning routine and I have my night routine. Honestly, Do Not Disturb is my best friend. You can't even contact me for real after 8:30. Better call twice, and it better be an emergency. You can't get a hold of me for real. And I love that. I truly do, because it's teaching me to put myself first. I need to wind down before bed. I do my yoga, my meditation. I prepare myself for my slumber. Like, I've been really, really intent on, because I love to sleep. If you know me, I love to sleep. If there's a nap, I'm going to take it. Period. And so now I'm being more intentional and putting myself in that space for rest. I used to be scared of the dark too, but now I'm sleeping with all the lights off in my room. Like, it's complete shut down. No night light, no lamp, no TV, nothing. Like, after I get done reading, that light goes out. I close the book, phone's in the other room, and I'm laying down, just breathing. Sometimes I like daydream in my head about, some made up fiction or I don't even know. Just some made up whatever in my mind, because I'm in my mind. It's me and me. So for all I know, I might be a superstar that just had a concert in my mind, and I'm rocking out, and eventually I'll fall asleep. And that's enough for me. So sleepy time tea will also do you some justice, I'll tell you that much. When I was asleep, that NyQuil was hitting something crazy. That NyQuil was hitting something crazy. But I was just really glad that now I have enough energy in my spirit to come back and do the things that I love, because it was really bothering me that I was so tired that I couldn't do the things that I love to do. Which is create and share and educate and be educated. Like, I love connecting. I love learning. I hate academia, but I love learning. But nonetheless, I want you all to start taking care of yourselves the best way for you, especially when it comes to your sleep. Sleep is very, very important. There's a lot of, make me get into the biological, cycles and systems that happen when you're sleeping that are necessary for your survival. So please take the time to create some rest for yourself. And naps, I'm telling y'all, naps are your friend. You know how many quick 20-minuters I done taken on a lunch break? Because I was just exhausted, because I was spreading myself too thin. I was trying to do too many tasks, do too many things. Like, my to-do list would have like 25 things on it. And it's like, girl, there's only 8 hours in a work day. And you need an hour to eat. I was working through lunch. That's what I mean when I say like the whole 2 weeks before I had even gotten sick, I was running myself ragged at work. I was coming back running myself ragged for my podcast, just because I'm learning how to do this. Like, I'm learning, like, okay, maybe I should set this up this way. Maybe I should do this many episodes one day, or blah, 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 blah. Editing, posting, sharing, social media. Like, I was just putting myself in the dirt. So I had to reestablish a proper equilibrium that was okay for me, and not me trying to keep up with anyone or anything. It was, okay, Aaliyah, you try and make this shake like this at work. You could do this, this, and this. Take you a small break and then knock this out. But because I used to be so sporadic and doing so many things at once, I would go through 125 emails in a day, and then I tell myself I didn't do anything. Ain't that crazy? Responding to 125. So let's say give or take, because some of them are like spam emails or whatever. So 100 emails in one day. And I'm still telling myself I didn't do anything. 100 emails, probably create 10 flyers, do this, that, and the third. But because my mind is so spread out on the big project that needs to be done, I never really paid attention to the small details that I was doing prior that are adding to the big event. And I was just putting myself down. I just wasn't being nice to me at all. And I have a habit of that from many different things in my life, many different people in my life that have put those things in my mind. But like I said, I'm just extremely grateful that I'm in a place now that I'm able to identify these things. I'm able to create the time and the space to do exactly what I want for me, and not really pay attention too much to what others are doing and how they're doing it and what they got to say about me. Does it hurt? Yeah. Does it bother me a little bit? Yeah. But then I jump back into the space of, I'm doing this for me. I'm learning at my own pace. I'm creating the space for me to make mistakes and be okay with myself as I'm learning. And to love myself as I'm learning. To uplift myself as I'm learning. Because at the end of the day, I'm still healthy. I'm safe. I'm blessed. Like, it's never that deep. And if it is, and when it is, that's even more reason to take care of yourself and love yourself and to extend yourself patience and kindness. You gotta ask yourself, who do you want you to be to yourself when you're feeling sad, depressed, angry, whatever? When I asked myself, I was like, I'm a big ass baby. So when I asked myself, I'm like, shoot, I want to be coddled. But I never felt comfortable enough letting somebody else coddle me because I was always scared that they were gonna like use it against me or bring it up or whatever it may be. And so I was like, I want to start being that for me. And I tell you what, giving yourself a hug really, really feels good. Like I'm telling y'all, right arm over left arm over right, hug yourself, squeeze your shoulder blades, like rub your shoulder blades, like really give yourself the love that you're feeling from others. And whenever you're able to sit with yourself and take a deep breath and self-regulate, ooh, that's when the real fun begins. But thanks for hanging out with me on another episode of The Inside Perspective. I missed y'all. I appreciate y'all participation and y'all patience with me as I'm, learning and figuring this thing out. But yeah, keep chatting with me, keep DMing me. I love hearing from y'all. Yeah. Until next time.